We're going to finish up 8.2, day 2 today. We're going to do 3 word problems and a quick review. The 3 word problems would be in your packets. The quick review is not in your packets, but I just wanted to make sure everybody's on the same page and is understanding, at least partially understanding what we're doing with our exponents. So let's continue. Let's begin. First of all, a quick review of exponents. Hopefully you know this is 4 to the 3rd power, and you realize that the 4 is actually the base. That's the number that's being multiplied. It is being multiplied by the exponent, which is the 3. And what does that mean? That means that the base, the 4, gets multiplied the number of times the exponent indicates. It indicates the base gets multiplied 3 times, so that would look like this. All right, to simplify this value, you want to actually do the multiplication. What is 4 times 4 times 4? Well, when you multiply it out, the first two multiplied 4 times 4 together, you get 16. And then 16 times 4, of course, is 64. So that's how you would simplify 4 to the 3rd power. Order of operations. First, you want to start with parentheses. Any grouping symbol goes first. You need to look for the parentheses, brackets, absolute value symbols. They are all grouping symbols, and you do those at the very beginning of your when you are simplifying an expression. The next thing you would do is looking for the exponents. That would be the second step, and you would change any exponents into their actual value. So here, if the exponent was 8 to the 2nd power, you would change that to 64 because 8 times 8 is 64. Then you would go back to the beginning of the problem and you would do the multiplication or division, whichever comes first from left to right. And lastly, you would end with adding and subtracting from left to right. Each time you simplify an expression, you should rewrite it. It just makes it easier to keep track, and you will also know that you've completed a step. So when you're doing the order of operations, be sure to rewrite each time. Key vocabulary that we have in this section. What is a power? Well, a power refers to the exponent, how many times a number is being multiplied. When you're asked to simplify something, you're asked to find the value. Usually they ask you to write it as a power. So if you have a repeated multiplication, you would write it as an exponent. When you're asked to find the product of something, or when product is used, that means that the numbers are being multiplied. Product means multiplication. And then, of course, we talked about properties in the first part of this lesson. Properties are like the laws, the rules that we use to organize exponents. Okay, so an example 4, modeling in real life. The problem talks about computers. It says 1 gigabyte, a GB, of computer storage space is 2 to the 30th power bytes. The storage details of a computer are shown. These are the storage details. How many bytes of total storage does a computer have? Well, the computer has 64 gigabytes of total storage because it tells me that right here. And notice that I can write 64 as a power of 2. Why would I want to do that? Well, because in the actual problem, I have a power of 2. And when I have these 2 power of 2's that I am multiplying together to find the total amount of space, once I have the same base, it makes it a pretty easy problem to do. So the total number of bytes equals the gigabytes, times the number of gigabytes. So the total number of gigabytes that they told me in the original word problem is 2 to the 30th power. And if I'm multiplying that by the total number of computer space gigabytes, I'm multiplying it by a power of 2 again, 2 to the 6th. Now, the reason I wanted both in a base 2 is that now I know I can use that property, product of powers property, where I simply add my exponents together and I get 2 to the 36th power. And then I finally can answer the question, how many total bytes of storage does this computer have? Well, the computer has 2 to the 36 bytes of storage. Okay, so pause the video and write down these notes. The most important part here is that you want to make sure you use the same base and those properties that we talked about to solve these word problems. Okay, so there's two try-its that you can go ahead and do on the Dynamic Student Edition. The first one has to do with a newborn blue whale, and I'm going to walk you through the problem, but I'm not going to solve it for you. You will have to go out and do that yourself. A newborn blue whale weighs 3 to the 7th kilograms. An adult blue whale weighs 81 times the weight of the newborn. How many kilograms does the adult blue whale weigh? Well, first of all, we have one exponent, 3 to the 7th power, and it's got a base of 3. The second part we have is the number. It says it's 81 times that number. 81 times 3 to the 7th power is the size of an adult blue whale, or the weight, I should say. So the important part is I want to can I turn 81 into a base of 3? And I can. 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 is 81. So now I can really rewrite this problem and use the product of powers property to literally solve it. I have 3 to the 7th, and then there's 1, 2, 3, 4 threes here. So my second base is 3 to the 4th. And now I can use my product of properties power property to rewrite this and solve it. Question 19. 1 megabyte of the cell phone storage space is 2 to the 20th power bytes. An app uses 4 to the 4th megabytes of storage space. How many bytes of storage space does the app use? Well, here we have two exponents. We can either change the 2 to a base of 4, or we can change the 4 to a base of 2. I choose to turn the 4 into a base of 2 because I'm dealing with a much smaller exponent. So since we have a base of 2, how do I turn 4 to the 4th in a base of 2? Well, here's what it would look like. You have 4's to the 4th power, and 2 times 2 is 4. So that would be 1 power, 2, 3, 4. So all I did really was write 2 times 2 4 times. That gives me 2 to the 8th power. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now I have my equation. I'm ready to go. 2 to the 20th and 2 to the 8th. And then I can simply just solve it. Did I write it? I don't know if I did. Yep, there it is. And then you can go ahead and solve that. So pause the video, write these things down, and then go on the Dynamic Student Edition and see if your answers are correct. So all I have for you now is your assignment. It's 8.2, exercises 1 through 16 on big ideas. Wishing you a happy Easter. Won't be talking to you probably unless I talk to you individually online for this week. So enjoy your Easter break, and your assignments will be out there ready for you on Tuesday. Be sure to do the check-in tomorrow on the Google form for attendance, and have a happy Easter. Miss you.